The office buzzed with the hum of printers, polite laughter, and the rhythm of high heels clicking across polished floors, but for Emily Carter, senior marketing associate at Halcyon Tech, it was just another Tuesday lost in deadlines and cold coffee, until she noticed the janitor. He was new, clearly, tall, with rolled-up sleeves over muscled forearms and a smile that looked like it belonged on a magazine cover rather than behind a mop bucket. He was fixing the old copier by the break room, crouched over with a concentration that made her pause mid-step. She offered him a polite smile as she walked by, expecting a nod or a quiet return, but instead, he looked up, grinned, and said, "Copiers and coffee machines, the true soul of any office." Emily chuckled, more out of politeness than anything, and went on her way. Over the next few days, he seemed to be everywhere, mopping late evenings, replacing water jugs in the cooler, fixing squeaky drawers in cubicles. Always polite, always cheerful, always observing. He wasn't pushy, but he made an effort to chat. "You always work late?" he asked one evening, seeing her hunched over spreadsheets. "Deadlines," she smiled tiredly. "Dreams don't build themselves." He nodded, his expression unreadable for a moment before he replied, "But sometimes we get so busy building dreams, we forget to notice the people helping us build them." She found that comment odd but thoughtful, and for some reason, it stayed with her. Over time, they began sharing more moments, small, insignificant conversations that somehow felt significant. He'd hand her a coffee just the way she liked it without her ever telling him. He remembered her cat's name after one offhand comment. He noticed when she wore something new. Emily's coworkers began teasing her, suggesting the handsome janitor had a thing for her. She waved it off with a laugh, though somewhere deep inside, she began to wonder if maybe he did. One evening, while they were both near the copier again, she finally asked, "You always this observant, or is it just with me?" He looked up, expression unreadable, and then said with quiet sincerity, "Maybe I'm just looking for someone who notices more than titles and suits." Emily smiled, unsure how to respond, and just then, the copier jammed again. "It hates me," she groaned. He leaned over and fixed it with ease, joking, "You just have to know how to listen to its struggles." She laughed, but there was something deeper about the way he said it, like he wasn't talking about the copier at all. A week later, Emily's world tilted. Halcyon Tech announced a surprise all-staff meeting. Whispers rippled through the office as the executives filed in. Emily nearly dropped her coffee when she saw the janitor walk onto the stage, not in overalls, but in a sharp navy suit. He moved with a quiet authority that silenced the room. Then the company's HR director stepped forward and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I reintroduce you to the founder and CEO of Halcyon Tech, Mr. Daniel Hale." Gasps echoed. Mouths hung open. Emily felt her breath catch. Daniel, the janitor, her copier buddy, was him? The man she joked with, laughed with, confided in over burnt coffee, was the multimillionaire visionary behind their company? He stepped to the mic and began, "This past month, I returned to the ground floor of my own company, not to spy, but to feel. To see how my people live, how they work, and most of all, how they treat those they think have no power." His eyes swept the room and rested, just for a moment, on Emily. "Too often, kindness is reserved for those above us. I wanted to see who offered it to those beneath." There was a long silence, heavy and meaningful. Emily's cheeks burned, not out of shame, but recognition. She hadn't flirted to impress, nor had she dismissed him as just the janitor. She'd treated him like a person, asked about his day, shared her worries, listened. And it turned out, he'd been listening too. After the meeting, she slipped away to her desk, heart pounding with a cocktail of confusion, embarrassment, and something else, hope. That evening, as she stepped into the elevator, a voice called out, "Leaving without saying goodbye?" She turned, and there he was, Daniel Hale, no mop in sight, just his usual warm grin. "I didn't know how to face you," she said honestly. "You weren't who I thought." Neither were you, he replied softly. Most people saw a janitor and ignored me. You offered conversation, warmth. You saw me. But why? She asked. Why go undercover? He paused. Because titles can buy attention, not respect. Money draws admiration, not always sincerity. I wanted to see who still believed in simple kindness. Emily stared at him, the pieces falling together. So, all those chats were real, he said gently. So is this. He handed her a small note with an invitation, lunch, just the two of them, no disguises. Emily blinked back tears. I don't know what this means, she whispered. It means, he said, that the heart you showed when you thought I was nobody, was everything I've been looking for. That weekend, they met not in an office or boardroom, but at a quiet little garden cafe. No suits, no company politics, just two people, finally unmasked. As laughter mingled with the sound of rustling leaves, Emily realized something profound. In a world obsessed with image and status, the truest love begins when we see past appearances, and choose kindness anyway.